Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. DeGen Central, college football week 2. Got Andrew and Michael back with me again this week. Talk some sports, talk some gambling, making some money.
Woo!
How you guys doing?
Doing great,
I'm
man.
rich.
It was fucking awesome to watch college football. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hope y'all tailed me, man. I'm telling you what.
We're gonna get into how we all did week 1. First, I want to again mention our sponsor over at Save Our Livers. They have a victory lap pack on their website, saveourlivers.com. Has all the essentials you might need. Recovering from a super tough hangover on Friday nights. Again, getting ready for an awesome slate of college football or NFL football going into Sunday. Shit, get a couple. I mean, if you start tailing us, you'll be able to afford some of these Save Our Livers kits for the whole season if you take some of our picks here. So let's get right into it. Big Ten football's back. Officially announced it. Coming back the 23rd and the 24th for a 8-game regular season, no bye weeks, and then week 9 is going to be the Big Ten conference.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, and Michael was telling us how bad. Michael, why don't you go over some of those?
Yeah, I was just reading today, and a few of their requirements was if more than 7 players test positive, then the team has to quarantine for I think it's 2 weeks. If a player tests positive, he has to quarantine for 21 days. Now these could all change, but if those are the requirements, it's almost impossible. This is going to be so tough. Now the only Alina said, the only way this does work out though is if you get to mid-October and by that time you just hope herd immunity and everyone on your team either was exposed to it or had it.
I wonder if that's going to be a strat for the big dogs. Everybody just go fucking get hammered with everybody and go get
Ohio
it right
State's just hey, go
you
party
need it.
this. Ohio State, yeah, Ryan Day's all right, practice Saturday.
Everybody on the team has to get it by this date or you are not
off.
playing.
Yeah. We're taking your scholarship away.
That'd be
it will
so
be
funny.
interesting. Ohio State had 2 guys opt out because they just didn't like the plan and everything. And Sean Wade, he'll be a top 10 pick this year. Stud cornerback. His dad was the guy who got all the people in the Big Ten office and protesting. Yeah, Dwayne Wade. This is clearly not his gay son. This is his straight son, Sean. And
right.
But it's just it's awesome because mid-October, the first weekend, I hope it all goes well because it'll be so much good football because by that time you'll be in the thick of ACC, in the thick of SEC. You throw the Big Ten in, you throw the Big 12 in. It'll be fucking awesome. It's just, one, Kevin Warren still should be fired. I mean, I don't understand how he has a job. And then 2, if the Big Ten comes back and tries to play and they just have to stop some games and cancel some games, it's going to look so bad.
I don't it, unless the vast majority of the team already has it, there's no way this doesn't fail.
Unless all their campuses are student athletes only. Unless at that point, but these schools want to stay open because they've already seen some lawyers try to be hey, if you close and you're making them pay full tuition, we're going to come after you. There's some lawyers sitting there fucking waiting for these schools to send everyone home and be all right, let's go to court now. I'm about to make a buttload of money. So these schools don't want to send these kids back. And we said, they're fucking 21-year-olds. They're there's been 22 cases in schools combined and not one hospitalization. We all said, if we're 21 reading these statistics, we're fucking going to go out and party too. We are in college. And so, yeah, like you said, you're just hoping for fucking herd immunity. Ed Orgeron, he said, I think everyone on our team either already had it or been exposed to it. So I think we're good. And honestly, it's funny because Ed says it and no one thinks twice about it. But I'm surprised more people weren't what the fuck? But it's also he's honest and that's the truth. I guarantee LSU. Remember when Clemson had 45 players test positive the first round of testing? We haven't heard a word about Clemson since then. Not a single peep. I can't remember.
I was going to say,
I heard Clemson
them
player
and
had it.
who else had a bunch? Someone else had a bunch too, right? It was
It might have been LSU actually.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
LSU, I know at the beginning of September or late August, they had 2 whole position groups had a quarantine for 14 days because they had 30 people get it. So it's
yeah. That's why everyone was freaking out when they got this shit mid-August. I was this is it. That's when it flared back up, and it was okay, yeah, people should be getting it. I mean, we don't have a fucking vaccine. Like, of course people are going to get it. There's nothing they can do. People are not like, we aren't shut down as a country, so like it's going to fucking happen, and especially when you're in a locker room with all these guys and who knows what like the third string D tackle's doing after fucking practice or whatever, like
Right.
And the funny thing is about all this though is the Pac-12 just sitting there with their thumb up their ass like, fuck. We blew
So
it.
Larry Scott, like the USC players did the whole thing of like writing a letter to the commissioner, let us play, blah blah blah. Larry Scott is like, we still don't see. They want to play in November. What are you gonna play for? The Pac-12 title? No one fucking gives a fuck about you. Who
Play
cares?
November. What?
November to like January or fucking February. But also, they wrote a letter to the governor of California, and the governor of California was like, "You guys can play. That's on your commissioner. You guys can play."
What is the difference from now until fucking November? What is going to change that's going to be so much safer in fucking November?
They said this rapid testing everyday thing,
and that's another thing where it's like I don't like so. It's just clear as fucking day that the Big Ten is like. I mean, literally nothing has changed since they announced they weren't playing until today. Like nothing.
You know what happened?
What is going on?
They had a doctor who they read a report on who had the whole heart condition thing and said that 30 to 35% people got it. Yeah. Then a week goes by. Penn State comes out and was like, I don't know why this doctor spoke up because he wasn't even studying this. He just said this, and you guys believed it and used it as your whole thesis on why to cancel. Like, think how crazy that is. They used a thesis on why to cancel on a doctor who wasn't even studying this. They have
it's like you're it's like you're Googling something and like you use the negative word associated. Like why does Amazon suck? Like you can find people that say Amazon sucks, but then the vast majority of people are like Amazon is amazing. You get a 2-day fucking delivery,
right?
Free half the time. So it's like, yeah, you can if you want to find something that's bad about whatever, you can find it any narrative you want to find. That's exactly 100%. What they fucking did.
But I mean, to your point, Nagy, about the whole thing coming back, I'm happy for it. I hope it fucking goes well because, like, Ohio State's a fucking legit top 4 team.
Yeah, we need Ohio State. Really, everybody else can. I mean, it's cool to watch them, but like they can kick fucking rocks. Like,
I don't really care about any of the other teams, especially with how the Big Ten's been like, oh, we're playing, no, we're not, oh, we're playing. And other than that, I've just been like, fuck them. Ohio State since day one has been like, we want to play. So I hate Ohio State.
Just like Clemson.
100%, just like Clemson. So I've had respect for Ohio State, and on top of that, like they're a top 4 team in this country.
Oh yeah,
and they're super fucking good. They deserve to be there. So I would feel kind of like impartial if they didn't.
If you have one of the top 4 teams not playing, it's like, what the fuck? This season, like it doesn't. There's a huge asterisk on whoever 100%, fucking wins. You're not playing one of the best quarterbacks in like a damn good team that's returning a lot of good players. So it's just.
And my last point will be this, and we can leave it at that. This fucking female named Christine Brennan.
Oh, okay, I saw you.
One of the dumbest bitches in sports media said the day that vaunted Big Ten became the SEC, it choked, it got scared, it sold its soul for football. It's the darkest day in Big Ten history. Let's remind you that the Big Ten hid Larry Nassar. They hid Jerry Sandusky, and she wants to call this the darkest day in Big Ten history. 2 child predators for over 30 years that they hid, and she wants to call this the darkest day.
Bringing football back.
It's just laughable, bro. Like,
I mean,
she's just getting clicks, bro. That's all it is.
It's just, but don't cover sports then.
Yeah, I know. It's bad. She should go cover
like fucking miserable bitch, man.
And I'm all about like women in sports, but like if no matter who would have made that take is just off their fucking rocker.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all about women on sports. We have women on our podcast, but
right, yeah. If she just words it one of the darkest days, then it's factual. Not factual. It's like okay, if you think that this is gonna be drastic, yes. It's like it is one of them. But to say the darkest day when there's been things that have like shocked the entire country, like that no one can disagree on. Like half the fucking Power Fives are playing right now, and since the Big Ten decides to come late to the party, it's the darkest day. Like
yeah,
these they're losing out on millions and millions of dollars. Like, do you think they're just going to do that? Like, no.
Right. And this is what most of the players want anyway. So good for the Big Ten. They finally made the right decision. But
took them long enough, but
they probably fucked up though. And
I think they know that now, and hopefully just get the
it's probably
season
too
going.
late for it to go smoothly, unfortunately. Right. So that's what sucks.
It'll be interesting to see. We'll talk more about that closer to the middle of October when Big Ten's getting ready to see how they match up with. Somehow some of the other bigger schools are getting off to hot starts. But let's get into it. Let's see. Let's go over how we all did in week 1. Michael went 4-5, but hit both of his do or die bets. So he finished week 1 with a 4-5, 2-0 on his do or die bets, and finished plus half a unit. Then we have Big Dick Alina throwing down the 10 burger.
Oh, the juicies.
USF minus 20 hit.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt.
So Alina finished week 1, 1-0 on the do or dies, 2-2 overall, and is going into week 2 up 8.8 units.
8 bergs?
Unprecedented. Okay, and then thank God I'm happy you hit it because like that would have been such a hole. Well, I'm happy you hit it.
No, like your
that should have been a bigger blowout than it was.
100%. Yeah. But that you lose that.
That's just fucking. That's scary though. That makes you like think like, damn.
But you lose that, you're literally chasing all year. Like you have to have like 2 straight very, very good weeks to get you out of the hole. And then you're just like, I don't want to get back in that hole. Like you're chasing the whole fucking year almost.
But now I'm just on Everest, just looking down.
Yeah, right.
And it was your do or die, so like that was huge. You still clean slate for the do or die punishment.
Hell yeah.
And then I went 3-2 overall, 1-1 on my do or dies.
But you did win your last do or die.
Right. So for our do or dies for the consecutive 3 in a row, you have to, if you lose 3 in a row, you got to take punishment. But so the first do or die I had was Notre Dame, who played at 2:30. They didn't cover. But then I had
they were even close.
I had the Texas Tech under, and they got scary close to hitting the over, like ridiculously scary.
Especially because the first half they only scored like 31 points.
I know. Then they just turned it on.
They needed like 39 each half to cover, and they scored 31. So you're sitting there like, all right, they need to score well over what they needed in the first half.
And then they scored like 24 or 27 in the
What was wild, I mean, that team's not supposed to be good in Texas Tech and then played close. It was a close-ass game.
It was a good game. So I barely scraped away with that. Like I said, 3-2, plus 0.7 units. So everyone went positive week 1, good week 1, especially not knowing how some of these teams are going to perform with all the shit in the offseason, weird offseason. So going on to week 2. We're going to have 3 highlighted matchups we're going to go over before we each give our cards. Anybody got anything else to say about the week 1 before we get going?
Yeah, I have one thing to fucking say, all right? I'm so sick of reading Notre Dame fans acting like they were the only fucking school who went through this offseason. That's all I ever see. Well, it was a weird offseason. You got to give Notre Dame some fucking credit. Oh, I didn't know that they were the only fucking school who dealt with Corona. Like, that is just the dumbest fucking argument I've heard. Maybe it's because I only follow Notre Dame, but, like, really Notre Dame fans is, like, majority of my following. But it's like, dude, Duke had the same shit, probably more. Like, Notre Dame probably had a few practices they shouldn't have. Let's just be honest. It's Notre Dame. Same with, like, Clemson's definitely, like, when they were shut down was probably still practicing. Like, Trevor Lawrence and them were running, like, a full-blown practice. But, like just stop. Stop telling me that it's a weird offseason because everyone deals with it. And everyone had to do it. So you show up and you fucking play ball. If I was one of those kids playing ball, I would be even more excited because I didn't think I was going to have a fucking season. So show up, play ball. Notre Dame fans, play for trophies, not participation trophies.
I like that. I think a better excuse would have been like the weather, kind of like just like shitty rain. I don't know.
Rain the whole game. Yeah, I agree. Rain the whole game.
That's a more valid play than the off season.
If you tell me that, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that gives you probably 7 more points, so you win by 2. You know what I mean? I would have been like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
I don't know. It was just a shaky first game. I mean, no other way to come around it. A win's a win. We'll take it, I guess. But I honestly, like, if I would have known it would have been raining like that, and then I honestly just somehow completely forgot that what's his name? Bryce? Is that his last name? What's his first name?
Yeah, Chase Bryce was a starter for Duke. Yeah.
I honestly, like, hindsight's 2020, of course, but I kind of forgot that he was.
Dude, he was a 4-star. Like, he was a stud. Like,
yeah, like, I mean, that's enough to
Nagy. That's on you,
lay
man.
the points or take the points.
What?
You should have told us that. Like, you did them for your do or die. You didn't tell us that the Clemson transfer was their quarterback.
See, yeah, that's what we need to start holding people accountable for. If you have do or die in the game, if a game is your do or die, you got to give us the weather, the impact players on both sides. I'm just saying.
Fair, like week 1, even on the NFL show, I did take like the team I like as my do or die in both ones. It was more because I didn't know what to expect, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just."
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I was afraid to take, like, I didn't like anything just because I'm like, dude, I have no fucking clue. Like,
right,
dude,
I need to watch these guys. I'm an eye guy.
Honestly, see, speaking about that, I know we're getting a little into this a lot, but viewers at home, you'll enjoy all of this insight. Like, I'm an eye guy too. Like, if I have a bet for one, I need to watch the game. I can't follow it on Gamecast and be like, oh my god, they just gained 25 yards. I just can't. I'm that big of a degenerate that I need to watch the fucking game. And you know who I watched in the the week 0? I watched Army play Mid-Tennessee State, and I said to myself, dude, Army's gonna fuck some teams up because they're never going to get COVID because they're literally the Army, and like they're probably have the better testing than anyone else will ever have, and they're kind of in a bubble. Like, if you go to Army, you can't really just go off campus and party and shit like that. So it's like you're already in a bubble. I watched them play Mid-Tennessee State, and they beat the fuck out of them. And then when they were one of my do or dies for 2 units. But like looking back at it, if I probably would have put like 5 because that was like the team I actually watched, and I was like, dude, there's no way the team they're playing competes with them. Like, Army's so ready to play. So to your point, like an eye guy, like I should have just trusted my gut on that one.
Yeah. And there was another thing about week 1, like Clemson kind of fucking shit the sheets at the end there.
See, that's what sucks though. They're minus 33. They're literally up 38 with 6 minutes in the third quarter. Trevor Lawrence doesn't play the last 21 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like
and Wake had their starters in the whole time.
Should have expected that.
They had their starters in.
We talked about it though. That's what we talked about. It's like it all depends on how, because they need to score faster so we can have those points and then let the scrap ones up.
They need to be up like 28, 30 points, like that.
Halftime.
Super fast.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so the first highlighted game we're going to talk about for week 2, and just for future reference, this is week 2 in our scheduling because last week was the first main slate of games. So this is week 2 going on. No 100%. Okay, so first game we're going to talk about, we got Baylor and Houston, both having their first game of the season. Right now, Baylor is sitting at minus 4.5, and the over/under is 62.5, and they're playing in Waco, and it's going to be like 89 degrees, sunny.
So, gotta say, Baylor for a Big 12 team, one of the worst stadium designs I've ever seen in my life. But I don't really like either line. Like, I could see it going either way. Houston doesn't have Derek King. He's obviously at Miami. Baylor's first year under the old DC at LSU. Their head coach, Matt Rule, left and is now the Panthers head coach. I like the under a lot here because I think Baylor, like last year they won a lot of games. Yeah, their offense was pretty good, but like their defense was legit, and that's kind of what kept them in a lot of games and stuff. And like they're bringing in a defensive coach, and then you also throw in Houston doesn't have King, and they weren't able to really score points that well last year without Derek King. I know they have fucking what's his name from West Virginia as their head coach, and he's probably going to be dialing up shit. But I wouldn't be shocked if like they both run the ball a decent amount, or it's just like one of those games where they fucking just throw the ball over the field but just can't complete any passes. So I would lean towards the under on this one if I were to take one. I probably won't take anything on this, but I would lean towards the under.
Yeah, I don't. This is I can see this coming down to the wire, and it's tough to
it's outside of a football number.
Yeah, and it's just tough to judge with so many new key replacements on both teams. You got the head coach replacement, star quarterback gone on Houston, and Baylor losing some guys too. So it's like I don't really feel confident, but if I'm gonna take, I feel like either team is gonna win by 7. And I'm leaning Baylor.
This is probably not a field goal game.
Yeah, not a field goal game. So I guess I'd go Baylor minus 4.5. That's like my pick from it. But
sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like Baylor was funny to watch last year because they would scrape together some of the ugliest wins against some really mediocre teams last year. And then when I think about their game against Oklahoma, they were up, what was it, like 27-7 or 27-3.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma turned it up, came back and won. But it wasn't really the defense's fault. Like Baylor turned the ball over, I think like 2 or 3 times in the final 2.5 quarters of that game. And I agree with Michael. I like Baylor's defense, but I also like Houston's defense. Houston's always been known
Houston's defense is returning 16 or 17 top tacklers.
Yeah.
So
like Houston is always like, at least in history I've followed any of that conference. Houston is always like big on recruiting defense. Like their offense is always kind of formidable. But I'm definitely comfortable with taking under 62.5. Both teams playing their first game. Like we mentioned, new staff members. So might be hearing more about that game when our cards come up. But yeah, under 62.5, I'm pretty comfortable with. So next game we're going to talk about, we got UCF and Georgia Tech. UCF, or both teams are 1-0. And UCF is opening at minus 7.5. And I think the over-under changed.
No, Central Florida's 0-0. They haven't played yet.
They haven't played yet, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so mine is UCF minus 7.5 and over-under 61.5. So what do you guys think about this? It's at Georgia Tech.
I love Georgia Tech. I just – watching them – so – obviously, I took Florida State last week, and honestly, Florida State completely blew that game. I mean, like they were – first off, they had like 3 interceptions they could have fucking returned for touchdowns, but the DB is just – I don't know where he's ever played football and like running the ball because it was painful to watch him try to return a pick 6. But I like Georgia Tech's coach. He's a fiery guy. I can get behind any fiery guy. It was their quarterback's – he's a true freshman, first start ever on the road at Florida State. I know, like, there's still some fans, and, like, on the road is definitely, like, a big deal for a true freshman. I think that gave him a lot of confidence. And it's Georgia Tech's first home game. UCF hasn't played. I think that's going to play. I wouldn't be shocked if UCF wins by 7. But, like, I think it's going to be a close game. I think Georgia Tech's going to be fired up to play. I know UCF is going to be fired up to play. I don't like their quarterback, though, from last year, UCF's. Like, I just didn't fall in love with him. He didn't seem like he ever was controlling the UCF offense like we've seen in the past few years. So, yeah, I love Georgia Tech, honestly.
I kind of like Gabriel, though, a little bit. Like, he screwed up a couple times when I needed him to not screw up. But he like they have that big play capability, which
for sure they do.
It really caters to them if it's going well, but it can also shoot. That's like shooting yourself in the foot too. With Georgia Tech, being a lot more of a slow, methodical offense, having a lot of time of possession, and UCF is like a Big 12 offense in a sense where they're driving around the field scoring very fucking quickly. So
yes,
if UCF is able to strike quick and often, and Georgia Tech is, eating up time, like it's going to take them out of their rhythm, and that could open this up big time. I like UCF here to win comfortably, so I'll definitely take the 4.5 or 7.5. Sorry,
7.5.
Yeah, Did you pick one, Michael?
Yeah, I'm gonna have Georgia Tech plus 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I took Georgia Tech with the 12.5 points last week against Florida State. And they played that was probably like we covered it last week as a highlighted game because it was one of the better matchups we had in week 1. So I give credit to Georgia Tech, and they didn't really give me any reason not to believe that they're going to be in this game. I agree. Like, I like the fieriness out of the Georgia Tech coach. I think it's going to be a scrappy game, like really close, almost the whole game. So I really like the points. I do think UCF will come out firing as well. But I think UCF will win, but I don't think they'll win by over a touchdown. So I'm gonna take Georgia Tech plus 7.5.
Here's two things. If it's a high scoring game, UCF will cover. If it's in the 20s, low 30s, then you're looking at probably Georgia Tech covers. And also, Georgia Tech's head coach's name is Jeff Collins, and he spells his name with a G. So I mean, I'm sold.
Yeah, I agree. If the over hits, UCF probably covers. If the under hits, there's a good chance that Georgia Tech probably covers the 7.5. All right. Yeah. On to the next. The last game we're going to cover as a highlighted game for week 2 is going to be Miami and Louisville playing at Louisville. It's going to be high 60s and sunny, I believe, if I remember. The line is Louisville minus 2.5, and the over/under is 64.5. What do you guys like here?
So this is the ABC primetime game. AP poll obviously came out before the Big Ten announced they were returning, but all those Big Ten teams then got kicked out of the AP Top 25. So this ended up becoming, since they both went 1-0 last week, it's number 17 versus 18. I love Miami, honestly, and I know sometimes I just fall in love with teams, and I think I think they're going to be way better than what they fucking are. But I love De'Aaron King. I think he's a stud, and I think he can control the game. And I think Miami's defense is very good. When the week 1, I mean, one of their I think they let up 13 points, and the only touchdown that they let up was a muff punt on the 10-yard line. So their defense played pretty well. I think De'Aaron King, he's ready to play in the spotlight. He's ready to shine. Kid's a stud. Manny Diaz is coaching for his fucking life. Nothing better to kick off this year than starting 2-0 with a win at Louisville. I took Louisville last week. I took Miami last week. Louisville actually looked really good against Western Kentucky. He's supposed to be decent this year. I like Louisville's coach. Satterfield's a great coach. I don't know. I love Miami in this one. I think Miami wins this one. And I think De'Aaron King fucking rushes for 150 yards and scores 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is way too close to call for me. I could see either team winning this. I was not really impressed with how Miami necessarily played, and the under's at 64.
That is a lot of points because their offense didn't look that great. Their
defense
it
did
good.
Not. But I mean, they made just a couple mistakes where, I mean, that could have been 40 points. But Louisville drops 35. I mean, I see why it's there. I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be one of those games where it goes back and forth and the defenses step up and make some plays. If anything, I'd go under here, but I think this is a coin flip on who can win it, to be honest.
That's definitely the thinking I was having. I really wasn't super impressed with either offense. They looked formidable in week 1. Louisville played Western Kentucky, didn't really show anything super elite on the offensive side for playing a smaller school like they did. I'm very surprised that this over-under is in the 60s. I was definitely expecting this game to be 58.5, 59.5. Definitely thinking Louisville is going to have to step it up on defense if their offense can't show any better light than they did last week. So I'm comfortable with the under 64.5. So another game that might be showing up on some cards later. Speaking about our cards, that's all the games we're going to cover.
I mean, Louisville's offense had 500 total yards of offense.
Yeah. I just meant like the scoring aspect. They look good. I like their quarterback a lot too.
Scored 35 points.
Just want to see them be more efficient, I guess.
Should have scored 42. They needed on the one to end the game. So.
And it's going to be the difference playing Miami's defense versus
for sure.
So yeah. Sure. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go through our cards for week 2. Michael, why don't you kick us off?
All right. So I got Miami money line, Navy Tulane over 49, FAU -2.5, NC State -2.5, 3-team money line parlay, NC State, App State, Western Kentucky, South Florida +26. And then my 2 do or dies, I'm putting 3 units on both of them. I have Ja Tech +7.5, and I have Appalachian State -4.
Wow. That is a mouthful. So how many games is that? Mine is like
2,
the parlays
3,
being
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays.
Wow. Damn. Impressive that you could find 8 plays with how
it's a tough weekend, but
started. Yeah. But you found it, so we'll see how it goes.
I probably would have had 7, but then I was looking at the Navy Tulane line. I saw it was under 50, and I watched Navy play BYU, and Navy's probably going to score a touchdown or 2. Tulane's not as good as BYU, and like Tulane's probably going to score every time they have the ball because Navy's defense is like literally Penn High School's JV defense. Like they're so bad. So I wouldn't be shocked if that goes under though, but I got to take it. It's inside a football number of 50. You got to take it. It's money in the crumbs.
Oh man, I do not like any of this shit really. But I do want to put. So, wait, where the fuck is that? So Clemson against Clemson. I might go against the shit. I might just bet against the Citadel all season long.
They only have 4 games, so.
Oh shit. But so I like Clemson -44 against the Citadel.
The difference between last week and this week, Clemson's third string will literally be able to run the ball every play and still score touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
They will not see a difference at all in scoring from their first and third string.
Yeah.
Also, it's also like why? Like if ACC is giving you one non-conference game and you're scheduling a D1 AA team, I would just be like, all right, don't even play. Like, what if Clemson gets COVID for playing the Citadel? Like, it's no point.
No point.
Like, at least just play like a Conference USA team or someone like that. Like,
I know. Speaking of Conference USA, I do like Cincinnati.
They're not in the Conference USA.
They should be. No. No, who was – damn, I don't know. Okay, I do like Cincinnati, though, against Austin Peay, 33.5.
Austin Peay's horrible.
They're so bad.
Lost to
Oklahoma, right?
Oh, no, they lost to Pitt 55-0 last week.
And they did 10-minute quarters of third and fourth quarter. I've never seen that.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
After halftime, they came out and they're like, just to inform everyone, we're doing 10-minute quarters the rest of the game. Both coaches agreed to it at halftime.
That's fucking awful.
Like, what is this, high school? Are we in the participation trophy? Wow.
That's terrible.
So I like those two. What do you guys think about
wait, you said the Clemson and Cincinnati, you're saying?
Yeah, so far, okay. Yeah. And then what are your guys' thoughts on Pitt and Syracuse? Pitt minus 21.5.
Like, I know Pitt scored a lot, but they played Austin Peay. Like, Syracuse, like, North Carolina is, I think, better than Pitt. Like,
yeah,
you got to think Syracuse quarterback starts to play well at some point.
I mean, how does Pitt-Syracuse, like, when's the last time that was a blowout? Isn't that always fucking close?
Isn't that a rivalry? Like,
yeah, that is.
Yeah, I would take Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to take them last. I do like Syracuse plus 21. I'm going to throw that on there. And then there was one more on here, but I think that might be all the ones I'm comfortable with right now. And the do or die is Cincinnati.
Okay.
Oh no! I like Central Florida -7.5 too.
But the do or die is Cincinnati.
Yeah, the do or die is Cincinnati.
So that's 4 plays.
Yeah, 4 total. So
Nagy,
what's up?
What do you have the Florida Atlantic line at right now? Because I'm seeing it now. It's changed, and I'm seeing Florida Atlantic as plus money.
They're plus 102.
All right, so scratch my F -2.5 and put.
They're plus 2.
Nope, plus.
I have them plus 1.5.
Money line.
All right, yeah, write down plus 102.
Yep.
Because it might change when I go to put it.
How are they?
Georgia Southern. Did you see them play last night? They almost lost to Campbell. They had like 42 players have to sit out.
I might throw FAU.
I might throw that on my
That's
card
like
now.
but I got respect to Georgia Southern's coach. He's just like, fuck it, we're playing football. I don't give a fuck what goes on because like 42 players sit out, and he's like, yeah, lace them up, let's play. That's absurd. All right, so what's your card then, Nagy?
All right, so including Florida Atlantic, I'm just gonna take the plus 2. Just
pussy.
Okay.
Juice bag.
I'll definitely like. That's super interesting. Like I didn't even look at that game, and now that
it's a sucker bet. I might not add that. I'm just saying.
Okay. I'm taking the plus 2 Florida Atlantic. I'm gonna throw Notre Dame on it because I watched the game, but I'm taking the over. The over under has dropped a couple points.
Wait, you're taking Notre Dame or the over under?
Notre Dame over, like the game. Yeah, okay. Notre Dame, USF, over 48.5.
Yeah, that is a wild line.
That's like a low one. I thought the same thing. I might need to relook at some overs here.
So, like, if Notre Dame has any hopes of covering the spread, you got to think that over hits by like 10 points.
In FAU, Georgia Southern is over 47.5 too. It's like seems pretty low.
Yeah, so I do like that over. And the weather's supposed to be super clear this week. Notre Dame won't have to worry about any of the weather. And then I got
Hey, don't disrespect Chuck like that. He's gonna bring the boys in town ready to fucking play. Actually, it plays into your over, so yeah, I agree with you.
I got the Baylor Houston under 62.5.
Good pick.
Georgia Tech plus 7.5.
Good pick.
Louisville Miami under 64.5. And then my do or die is going to be Tulane -7 against Navy.
That's a good pick. I think they fucking roll.
And I'm gonna make it a 3-unit do or die. I was between 2 and 3, but I'm gonna.
What do you have on yours, Alina?
I don't know. I might, dude. I'm thinking about throwing.
We have a do or die off.
Who?
Me and you. I have Ja Tech. You have Central Florida. Or no, Cincinnati's yours.
I have Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right.
Against Austin Green Peas or whatever.
Austin Piss. Green.
Austin Green Pea.
What a name.
Damn, bro. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Austin P has a chance to score. So I need 5 touchdowns. That's it.
Say this now, though. I don't give a fuck if they play 10-minute third and fourth quarters. The bet counts.
Yeah, that's good for me. I guess that wouldn't even matter. The game, it should be 35-0 at half. Like
that's bullshit. If it don't fucking tweet at us, oh, they didn't finish the game technically. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they would have an extra 4 minutes, then we'll calculate how much they would have scored and just add it to the total, and for the spread.
So would you put on it?
It's fair. No. Okay, I'm gonna put. Man. I'm gonna put 8 units on it.
Oh my god.
Nagy, wait, how many plays did you have total?
6, including
Bro, you guys are crazy with these picks.
6, including the do or die. So
Here's what we gotta do. up 3 in a row, we got to do the burger challenge, but it's only we have to figure out how much you're supposed to eat in 1 hour or 30 minutes, and just see like what do you think it'd be like 5 or 10 double cheeseburgers?
I would say
however many.
No, not however many units, because if you're 8 units, you should be able to do that in an hour easy, right?
If you lose your bet on an over/under or on a spread, you have to eat that many burgers in an hour that it missed by.
I mean, that could be like absurd though. I
feel
like
what if it's
we could have like a just
like think if you took Navy week 1 against BYU, they were -1. They lost by 42 points.
That's how it goes, bro.
They lost by 52. It was 55
okay, 52 points. Like, no, here's what you do. Here's what you do. This is what we do. So, like,
the burger challenge.
You do. Yeah, what a fucking archive in our history. But, Olena, so you have 8 units out here for your do or dies. I have 6, and I have 2 of them. I think you add up however many units you lost in a row.
Okay,
so like,
okay.
If I go 3 weeks and I go, let's say like this week I have 3 and 3, and then next week my do or dies 2, I have to eat 8 burgers within an hour.
Okay. And then that's the only way you get your do or dies back.
Yeah.
But you have to else you just got to go 1 unit place.
You show it. If you puke, you can get it back. Like, but you have to put effort into it. You can't.
Oh yeah.
You can't just fucking tap out.
If you
you can't just cook them and then like.
No, these are McDonald's burgers. You got to feel the burn.
Oh, that's it. Damn, fuck those.
Yeah.
Those are gross.
You got to cook them. He's going to be making like pencil thin.
Yeah, the burgers
just
like this
thin
big.
those shits out.
Yeah. All right, boys, let's go. Fucking week 2, baby. Everyone was positive week 1.
Yo. So here's the thing, though. We should because last week I forgot to add a pick that I said on here. So are we going by our cards, like when we actually submit in our tweets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our cards.
So things are subject to change after this is recorded. Like if you do a little bit more research.
Yes, you can add something. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So check out our Twitter, Victory
Splash
Sports Bets, or is it Victory Lap Bets or Victory Sports Bets? Shit.
Don't even fucking
I think it's
know.
Victory.
Just look up DeGen Central.
It's Victory Lap Bets. Victory Lap Bets.
Yeah. So, or DeGen Central. Our official card will be on there, but 90% of it's going to be the same as what we just did in this podcast. So make sure you give that a check out. And again, DM us if you have any funny punishments that we might have to do on 3 consecutive lost do or die bets. Thanks again for listening. Go share this with someone. And, dude, you guys start taking our bets, bro. We'll see you next week.